my subconscious, and I looked and I was disoriented. Well, that moment scarred me forever. I dream about that moment to this day about once a month because it was so disorienting and because it matched my own physical movements. So that's my nightmare about the nightmare movies.
Right there.
Hi there, Mr. Englund. Huge Freddy fan, but I want to touch base on Jack Brooks' Monster Slayer.
Yes!
Absolutely love your performance in that movie. I just want to know what the experience was for you to get into that character and make that as memorable as it was.
Here's the thing. The producer, star, and co-writer of that movie is from Ontario.
Woo! Yeah!
And his father is kind of like the Bill Gates of Ontario. And he is the youngest of a son in a very successful family. But he's a movie ghoul, like most of us. And you can, we all went out for a beer with him in an Irish pub. We talked all night about movies. Scorsese, vampires, zombies, action. He's a great, great guy. And Trevor Matthews called me up and invited me to do this part. And the thing for me was I hadn't done any comedy in a while. And it was an opportunity for me to do a little bit of physical comedy in this kind of retro, practical horror film. So I signed on, and it was actually a great experience. There was a guy in that movie who was, part of his stuff was cut out. And there's a gentleman here at this convention, a local from Second City and the Zombie Army, who I worked for in a film called The Mole Man of Belmont Avenue. And they're very similar. They both have a kind of Jim Carrey gift. And that guy was extraordinary to work with, as well as Trevor. Trevor's kind of like Steve McQueen. He can do anything. I mean, he surfs, he can pilot boats down the worst waters in Europe. I think he snowboards all over Canada. But he's also this intense, insane movie ghoul. And I also respect him because I think he's been with the same girl since high school. And I love that. You know, he really recognized true love. And it is out there, you guys. You just have to, like, sometimes you have to look through the back of your heads. You have to turn your antenna around. You have to look left and right. You have to forget that what you think is easy. But anyway, and his girlfriend is extraordinary. So it was an honor to work with Trevor Matthews, and for Trevor Matthews. And he has some sequel scripts to that. But I was just so happy to do some physical comedy again at my age, because you guys, from 15 to 24, that's all I did in the theater. I was in Godspell. I did Moliere. I did all the clowns in Shakespeare. And then I got to Hollywood and they made me a redneck, you know? Oops, okay, I'll play white trash. But I mean, it's just like, you gotta go with the flow. And that's what I did.
Man, Stay Hungry is an awesome movie.
Listen to me, I've been talking about Jeff Bridges since 1975. How great is that? I learned more working with Jeff Bridges in 1975 than I even did with Henry Fonda in 1976. That's how fresh and good and open and organic Jeff Bridges is. And Jeff Bridges has movies. If you haven't seen Arlington Road, for you older people, if you haven't seen Door in the Floor, and we all love Starman. Revisit Starman. Yeah. Oh my God, he's so wonderful. But let alone his new stuff, But that was like I was 3 months with Jeff Bridges, in Birmingham, Alabama, and I watched him freshen it up every take. And that guy has some game. That guy has some chops.
He's the dude.
Hey, I hear, what's the new one? The Giver. I hear he's great in The Giver. Yeah.
Whatever they.
Why, young adults?
I'll see.
One question I've always had about the original Nightmare on Elm Street movie in particular. Something I was really fascinated about the movies. I always thought it was like two movies in one. The first was like a classic scary story, campfire tale. I think my